Hi, this is Rabbi Zach Plesent, and you are listening to You've Always Belonged Here, Temple Israel of Westport's new podcast. Each week, we will share moments from the Bima given by our clergy team or conversations with members of our staff or community.
You turn my mourning into dancing. This verse from Psalms poignantly captures the emotional extremes of human existence, and it also captures where we find ourselves on the Jewish calendar. This Shabbat is Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbat of vision, and it's the Shabbat that immediately precedes Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the Hebrew month of Av, which will begin at sundown this coming Wednesday. For those unfamiliar, which may be many of you, I didn't know what Tisha B'Av was until my summer camp had us all dress in black for a very dramatic night, which I'll speak more about. Tisha B'Av is known as the saddest day on the Jewish calendar, a day on which, according to our 2nd century rabbis, the Jewish people experienced our greatest tragedies, most significantly the destruction of the first and second temples in 586 BCE and 70 CE. Throughout Jewish history and even into modernity, other horrors have been connected to this date as well. Crusades and expulsions, horrors of war, even the Nazi approval of the final solution is attributed to the 9th of Av in 1941. To mark this very sad day, Jews traditionally fast from sundown to sundown, and as is the custom for mourners, they avoid listening to music, wearing makeup or bathing, or even studying Torah. We also read from the book of Eicha, Lamentations, a scroll that details Jerusalem's first destruction. Some Jews even begin a period of semi-mourning 3 weeks beforehand on the 17th of Tammuz, and others intensify a practice of mourning beginning on the 1st of Av, avoiding meat, wine, and even shaving. Whether it's 3 weeks, 9 days, or 1 day, it's a very intense period of time, and you also wouldn't be alone if you never observed any of it. Liberal Judaism has had a really nuanced relationship with this holiday over time. The Reformers, the founders of Reform Judaism, did not yearn for the temple to be rebuilt, and some actually viewed its destruction as paving the way for the innovations of rabbinic and then modern Judaism. And once the Jewish state was established in 1948 and Jerusalem reunified in 1967, many thought that mourning this loss was actually no longer relevant. We should focus on celebrating. But of course, the Reform and Jewish perspective was never unanimous on Tisha B'Av. Some Reform thinkers argued that however little we felt the need to pray for the restoration of sacrificial worship, the tragedies and sufferings of Jewish history deserved acknowledgement. And so the 9th of Av became an opportunity to give voice to our sadness as a people for the calamities that had befallen us. Interestingly, though, over the past several decades, and especially since October 7th, there's actually been a reclaiming of Tisha B'Av in liberal communities, as our movement has reinvigorated ritual observance and tapped into the communal psychological power of honoring this day in our own way. Now, I share all of this not because I think you should fast this coming Thursday, though if you want to, I'm happy to talk about it. Instead, I think there's value in knowing what's happening on the Jewish calendar and in understanding the choices that other Jews in our community might be making. And beyond that, and I say this even as a person with a naturally happy disposition and someone who tends to avoid conflict and always wants to be the cheerer-upper, there's also a lot of value in being sad sometimes. Always looking on the bright side, this can trend toward toxic positivity. And those approaches don't always leave room for the full range of human emotions and experience. The fact that our calendar offers a space to feel our feelings is actually a gift, one that is not only there for us one day a year, but actually every single day. Even in our service tonight, there are opportunities to acknowledge the blessings in our lives and also the things that are hard. There is a time for, as Ecclesiastes via the birds teaches us, every purpose under heaven, a time to laugh, and even a time to weep. And so we offer gratitude for these cycles of time in all the ways that we honor and observe them. And I want to invite us to even offer gratitude for the cycle of night turning into morning, morning turning into night, with words of Ma'ariv Aravim. We will turn back in our prayer book to page 148 as we read the end of this blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
You turn my mourning into dancing. Turning. Mourning, as Rabbi Goldstein just taught us, is good, is important, is crucial even as human beings as we navigate the trials and tribulations of life. But as the psalmist teaches, in order for mourning to be turned into dancing, we have to turn. We can't just stay in the mourning, as crucial as it is for each one of us as human beings. We have to turn. The turn is just as important as the mourning itself. And our tradition lays that out for us in its calendar, just as Tisha B'Av arrives, when we need to sit in the mourning and acknowledge what has befallen us as individuals, as a community as well. Precisely following Tisha B'Av, the calendar reminds us to turn. The Shabbat immediately following Tisha B'Av is known as Shabbat Nachamu. Shabbat Nachamu means the Shabbat of comfort. We need to feel comforted in order to begin this turn, and so we start immediately after this day, which represents some level of sadness, however you choose to observe Tisha B'Av. The comfort that God provides to each of us in Shabbat Nachamu gives us the foundation, the baseline to begin this turning. Does anybody know how we say turn, the word turn in Hebrew? What about return? Jeff, what did you say? Oh, Julian. I had a plant. Music director Julian Chin.
Hashivenu, return us.
Hashivenu means return us. So the root word is the same. Return is teshuva. To return is teshuva. And so the word turn is just shuv. Shuv means to turn. And yet teshuva, return, is our goal for the next 8 weeks between now, 8 weeks and 2 days, sorry. For the next 8 weeks and 2 days between now and Rosh Hashanah, our goal is to do that turning, is to begin to move through the morning toward this period of Rosh Hashanah where we begin again, when we begin anew. The turn is just as important. If the psalmist teaches, you turn my mourning into dancing, mourning does not become dancing without that turn. And so we say, the psalmist reminds us, I sing praises to the Holy One who lifts me up when I have fallen, and I cry to you to heal us, and you answer all our prayers.
As both Rabbi Goldstein and Rabbi Plesent taught us, this time of Tisha B'Av, of the 9th of Av, is indeed observed in many different ways. Fasting, of remembering the destruction, and of reading from the Book of Lamentations. Literally, this book lamenting the suffering of our people. But as we turn our mourning into dancing, our tradition teaches us that this book that we read from, this saddest book, we begin with a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, God, Asher asanu asirei tikva, who makes us captives of hope. This resonates so deeply with me. Many of you know my newest album that I came out with is called Captives of Hope, because this very idea that even on this saddest day of the year, we still include hope. To remind ourselves that hope is what makes our tradition consistently present. has helped move our people forward throughout all time, no matter what hardships we face. And indeed, this is the turning point in our calendar that begins to propel us towards Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, a fun fact, is the only Jewish holiday that falls on the first day of the first month of our Jewish calendar year, literally the head of the year, Rosh Hashanah. It is on the day of the new moon, the time in which we can't actually see the moon. So in many ways, Rosh Hashanah is actually our darkest day of the year, though indeed it is this day of new beginnings, of change, and of hope. And it's on Rosh Hashanah that our liturgy says, Tiku v'chodesh shofar, sound the shofar bekeseh leyom chagenu, when the moon is covered. When the moon is covered, and we cannot see even a sliver of light, we are commanded to sound the shofar, a symbol of hope, to bring music and light and joy into even the darkest corners of our world, so that our soul might sing.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of You've Always Belonged Here. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about Temple Israel, visit our website, tiwestport.org, follow us on Instagram at Temple Israel Westport, or like us on Facebook, Temple Israel of Westport, Connecticut.